Happy Tuesday, Dice Masters fans! Or should I say Penguin Pals? Welcome to the show. My name is Jessa Blackthorne, of course, and welcome to Much Ado About Gaming, the best part of your Tuesday, the only thing that happens on Tuesday. I was gonna make a joke today about how it's a great day, it's overcast, it's snowing outside, but then it stopped snowing, so I can't make that joke anymore. So it's not snowing outside, but it's still gonna be a great show. I'm so excited to be able to talk to you again this week. But before we get into the actual content of the show, as you can see in, the corner over here, this way, we have a new friend, and his name is Noodles, and he is our penguin pal! Noodles is our friend, we love him, we are so excited to have him with us. He is so excited to hang out and watch the show with you. You're gonna see him pop up a little bit. I'm not quite sure how I want to integrate him into the show yet, but you said you wanted penguins, and I delivered penguins. If you have any, fun ideas, ways we can incorporate Noodles into the show, please feel free to suggest them in the chat, and I will absolutely check them out. A few things before we get started. If you have any questions during the show while I'm talking, please feel free to send them to the chat. Just type question in all caps, and I will, of course, respond to them as soon as I see them. And, we'll be talking about Dice Masters quite a bit today. Give me one moment. I'm so sorry, you guys. Today is weird, and I just want to check something, because I want to make sure I have all the best information for you, which I absolutely will. I just want to confirm. But how is everybody doing on this lovely Tuesday where it is not snowing? Please tell me how you're all doing while I am dealing with this. Mike, you're super happy. We're super happy to have you. And I am super happy to have a penguin like I promised. I am just super excited in general. It's going to be a great day. So let's talk about the show. Today we're going to be talking about Dice Masters. Last week we did a show about HeroClix and board games that HeroClix fans will love, and this week we're doing the same thing but for Dice Masters. And just real quick, if you tuned in last week and you remember the part where I was like, I think I have some HeroClix around here, but I didn't. I literally have HeroClix on my shelf next to me. I just didn't look up. Life happens. But yeah. So we are continuing on today with Dice Masters. If you are not familiar with Dice Masters is a smash hit cross-brand offering utilizing WizKids' proprietary dice-building game system, where players collect and assemble their team of character dice and battle in head-to-head gameplay. There's been a lot of really cool sets with Dice Masters. We do DC Comics, we do Marvel Comics, we've had Yu-Gi-Oh! Dice Masters. We've had so much cool stuff for Dice Masters, it's insane how much awesome stuff has come out with Dice Masters. We, of course, have WWE Dice Masters. We have D&D Dice Masters. Lots of really awesome things. So this week, we're going to be showing off a few great WizKids games. There are 5 of them, which I think will be great hits if you are a big Dice Masters fans. And then at the end of the show, of course, we're going to be giving you a little sneak peek at some of the cards from DC Dice Masters, Superman Kryptonite Crisis. So absolutely stick around for that. I know a lot of you are really excited for that. I am so excited to show them to you. They're really freaking cool. But before we get into that, let's get started. Sorry about that. I couldn't find the button. So, first up, we're going to talk about, I actually have these in the wrong order, but that's okay. We'll talk about Couriers first. This was going to be the grand finale, and I forgot to reorganize them. But if you are, of course, a big Dice Masters fans, you're probably familiar with Couriers. Couriers is designed by Mike Elliott and Eric Lang, and it is the inspiration for Dice Masters. So if you just love Dice Masters and you just want something that's exactly like Dice Masters, but maybe it's a board game in a box, Couriers Ultimate Edition is the way to go. It is a kind of fantasy role-playing mystical game where you play a courier with the power to capture dangerous quarry from the untamed wilds. There are a lot of Q puns in this game, and it's really fun and it's really cute. CCM, I don't have any updates for you today on Dark Phoenix, unfortunately. I wish I did. There's nothing I can share with you at this time. But there will be, like I said, the really cool preview of the Superman Kryptonite Crisis set, so check it out. Those cards are really awesome. It's exclusive, so you're going to get to see some stuff that's never before been seen. So definitely stick around for that. But Couriers. Couriers allows you to... Like I said, it's a dice building game. It's basically the original Dice Masters. Couriers Ultimate Edition is the combination of all of the games in the Couriers series. So there was the base game and then several expansions. Couriers Cortifacts, Couriers Rise of the Demons. There's a lot of them and there's so many Qs. But we've taken all of those games and put them into one giant box, and that is Couriers Ultimate Edition. It also includes all of the promo cards that were released for the game and the never-before printed Ghosts of Xmas Past, Present, and Future. So it's definitely an amazing bang for your buck if you like the dice building system and maybe you want kind of a different theme and you want to play with something a little bit different than traditional Dice Masters, but that still is the same core gameplay. Couriers is the game for you. It is for players ages 14 and up, 2 to 4 players. It plays in 30 or more minutes, and it is $99.99. But it's a wonderful game. Definitely check it out. If you're familiar with Dice Masters, you'll know exactly what you're getting into with Couriers, and it's definitely a wonderful game to check out. Next up is one we've talked about a lot on this show, and we're going to keep talking about it because it's a great game, and that is Fantasy Realms. Now, why did I put Fantasy Realms on this list? If you like team building and you like finding that synergy and creating combos, and that's a big part of your, Dice Masters experience and a big part of your enjoyment when it comes to Dice Masters, Fantasy Realms is really a wonderful option. It's an easy-to-play game. It's really simple to learn. You're trying to build the best hand of 7 cards out of the cards on the table. So you pick up cards from the deck, and then you discard on your turn. You play a card, you draw a card, and you discard a card. But everybody discards to the center of the table, which means that you gotta be careful about what you're discarding, because your opponents can then pick up cards from the discard pile instead of drawing from the deck. And all of the cards are of different suits, and they affect each other depending on what the cards do, what their suit is. So the goal of the game is to create the most synergy with your cards by combining the different cards of the different suits. They all have different point values. They add points to certain cards and remove points from certain cards. You can kind of see that on the cards that are, flashing next to me, the penalties. But the result is that the goal is really finding that synergy and really finding a great, way of maximizing that synergy. And of course we do have the the expansion coming out, Fantasy Realms The Cursed Horde. CCM, to my knowledge, Couriers doesn't have an official single player rules variant. We do have some very creative fans who post things on Board Game Geek, so it's very possible that there's one out there, but to the best of my knowledge, it does not. It's possible it does, yes. Ministry of Dice, I forgot. I promise I will post on WizKids Facebook, and I will talk about that when I find out after the show. I'm gonna remember. I am so sorry, but I will find out for you. I promise. But yes, Fantasy Realms. So we have the expansion coming out, Fantasy Realms The Cursed Horde. It adds in 2 new suits, and what I actually just found out about this is it's from the designer of one of my favorite games, which is Betrayal at House on the Hill. Which, no wonder I love Fantasy Realms, because I love Betrayal, and this is just as much fun as... It's very different from Betrayal. If you don't like Betrayal, you might still love this game. They are very different, but I love both games. And of course, if you're not a great person with math, I imagine Dice Masters fans are probably pretty good with numbers, because, the math and the numbers are so heavily incorporated. But if you're like me and not great at numbers, there is a scoring app which will help you calculate your score at the end of the game. So that'll kind of help you out. Look for the WizKids app on the App Store. It's in both the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. So you can find them online, and you'll be able to download that for free, and that will speed up your endgame very, very much. As Jimmy said to me today, I was talking to Jimmy about this show today a little earlier, and he said to me, you know, Dice Masters is fundamentally a combo game. Your goal is to get combos, and Fantasy Realms really scratches that itch. So it's a perfect kind of more laid-back card game. You know, it's easy to carry around in your pocket because it's just cards, whereas Dice, you know, it can kind of get unwieldy after a while carrying all that stuff. This one is a nice way to kind of keep a similar experience in your pocket. So check out Fantasy Realms. It plays 3 to 6, ages 14 and up, and it plays in about 20 minutes and is $19.99. And you can check that out at your friendly local game store or online. We have it available in the WizKids online store. And we also, of course, have Couriers available in the WizKids online store as well. I forgot to mention that. Yes, shout out to Jimmy. Jimmy is the best. He helped me out today with this show, putting things together. And he really is a wealth of knowledge when it comes to Dice Masters. So thank you so much, Jimmy. If you're watching, I really appreciate it. Nick, I feel you on that. Absolutely. I feel you on the math thing. I am not a numbers person. But you know what? That's okay. Not everybody is, and you can still get a lot out of these games, even if you're not great with numbers. There's still a lot of fun to be had, and I think that Fantasy Realms is a great example of that, because I loved Fantasy Realms immediately from the first time I played it. Next up, of course, we have... Not of course, this is actually probably a game that maybe you're not as familiar with. It's not as well known as a lot of our other games, and that is Yummy World, Party at Picnic Palace. Now, I'm sure you're looking at me, and you're like, Jessa, what? This is a game about food characters, you know. I'm sure you've seen the Yummy World characters in your friendly local game store, you know, at, you know, other stores, Target. They have these characters, they're stuffed versions, they have little keychains. Yummy World is an adorable brand. I absolutely love it. Of course, it's Kid Robot, and the characters are so cute, and this is a really fun, really cute little game that incorporates those characters into a tabletop gameplay format. And the reason we're recommending this game is because it kind of not Fantasy Realms. Dice Masters has elements of set collection in it. Now, usually when you're doing kind of set collection and team building with Dice Masters, it's for the purpose of, you know, creating combos, finding that synergy. But if you really enjoy the set collecting aspect and, like, building, you know, combinations of characters and building the right team of characters, and that's something you really like to do, and, you know, finding the synergy is kind of a secondary piece of enjoyment. Ministry of Dice, I would say yes. It is 14 plus because of the components, of course. You know, we have to communicate that it does have small parts, but how, you know, people younger would probably get it, but of course that is at your discretion. We can't encourage that, but do keep that in mind. It's definitely a very straightforward, simple game. It's a very deceptively light game. It's from the designer of Sushi Go, so if you like Sushi Go, it's not very similar, but it has the same sort of light, laid-back kind of feel, and that's what I really love about it. It's got drafting elements, which of course you see in Dice Masters, but the drafting is much simpler and quicker, so it moves a lot faster than an average Dice Masters game. And it's, you know, it incorporates, like I said, the fun cast of unique food characters from Yummy World. So the game is set in the magical town of Sprinkle Tree, which is a magically yummy place where food is fun and fresh-baked friendships and adventures meet. And in the game, you flip over cards to reveal all the different and delicious characters of Yummy World. When you see a set of characters that you like, you want to make sure you grab it, but don't wait too long because someone else will nab the cards first. So your goal is to collect sets of the same character to score big points, and the rarer the card, the more you will score as you collect. So there's definitely that strategy there as well of timing out when you want to grab characters and grabbing the right characters. It has a little bit of a, you know, mystery element to it because you're flipping over the cards, so you never know what you're going to quite get. But there's still a lot of strategy there. despite the fact that there's some randomness. Oh, hey, it's snowing again. Sorry. First it was penguins, now it's snow. But it's a very cute game. It's adorable. It's a 30-minute game, so it's nice and quick. It's ages 14 and up, like we talked about. It's $14.99, and it's for 2 to 4 players. So it's a nice kind of blend of simple and light game. If you have kids who like Dice Masters, this is a good one to kind of maybe think about introducing to them. Or if you want your kids to get into Dice Masters eventually, this is a good option as well. But yes, so that's Yummy World Party at Picnic Palace. Of course, available at your friendly local game store or online, but we encourage you to shop local, always. And if you have trouble finding a local store, you can see right below me is the shop local link. And if you go to that link, wizkids.io/local store, you'll be able to look up what store in your area carries WizKids products. So it's definitely something that will help you. I know things are a bit of a struggle right now with your friendly local game stores. They could really use the business, so absolutely check them out. Absolutely support them. They're the reason we do what we do. We wouldn't have, games like this. We wouldn't be as successful as we are if it wasn't for the support of our friendly local game stores. They're very, very important, and we want to do everything we can to support them. Next up, next game is another one that kind of fell under the radar when it came out. I really like it. It's kind of a quiet game, but it's very smart in its quietness. You'll understand when I'm talking about it. And that is Spy Tricks. Spy Tricks came out in, I believe, 2018, towards the end of 2018, and it is a really, really cool drafting game with hidden information. It's great for players if you have strong memory skills and if you enjoy trick-taking. So the reason we're recommending this game is because it kind of gives you the same feeling as when you're booster drafting in Dice Masters tournaments. So if that's something that you really love doing, this is a wonderful option for you, because kind of booster drafts do kind of have elements of trick-taking, and that's something that you don't really think about it when it's happening, but if you sit down and you're like, oh, it really does kind of feel like a trick-taking game, and Spy Tricks is a wonderful game that to incorporate that same element, but in a much more straightforward way. In the game, you are playing as a spy from, one of a couple countries trying to guess the content of the secret documents. It's a trick-taking game where you will use the cards in your hand as well as an observation of the other player's kind of actions to deduce what the secret document is. So it's got deduction elements, and anyone who knows me knows I am a huge deduction fan. I love deduction games. I started in social deduction games long before I came to WizKids. Social deduction has been my world, and so this game incorporates that with a trick-taking kind of twist, and I really like that. It's not quite a social deduction game, but it is a deduction game, and it's deduction and trick-taking, and that's something that's really fun and different. There's even an element of gambling in the game, because you're going to be betting on the contents of the secret document, and each bet on that content locks out players from guessing the same thing. So that's another thing that kind of calls back to drafting in tournaments, because you're locking out other players from getting the card. Now, when the little carousel of photos comes around again, I'll show you what I mean about the locking out. So you see in this picture that the blue guy is on the blue card and the yellow guy's on the yellow card. That means no other players can go on those cards. So you basically say, I own this guess now. No one else can make this guess. And that's something that no one else can take this card. No one else can take this character die. It's very similar to that. So it's really cool. It's really fun. It's actually pretty quick, too. It plays in like half an hour. So all of the games I think I'm talking about today take place in about a half an hour, sometimes a little bit longer. So they're all nice and quick games, and that really, that's another really great thing, because you could try them all in one game night when things are normal and you can do game nights again. But you play rounds equal to the number of players, and then the player with the highest score at the end of the game wins and is the best spy in the world. super fun. The game is for players 14 and up for 3 to 4 people. It plays in 30 minutes, like I said, and it is $19.99. So, last up, before we get into our Dice Masters preview, Reg, I have not really divulged details of Dice Masters just yet. We're going to get to the preview at the end of the show. Yeah. Next up is an older game, but still a very fun game, Dicebot Mega Fun. And Dicebot Mega Fun is for the Dice Masters players that love Dice Masters because they love to roll dice. Rolling dice is, of course, it's such a tactile experience, and it's such a fun experience, the, like, anticipation of, oh, what am I gonna roll, and, you know, that bit of excitement from just the act of rolling the dice and trying to roll the best things. But Dicebot Mega Fun is a great example of that. It is a literal dice building game. What do I mean by that? It is a lightweight, family-friendly game that lets you build robots using dice. So literal dice building. You are building these robots using your dice, and then you're having them fight one another. So what you're really doing is you're playing as the robots, and you reach into the junkyard to grab the dice, displaying various parts, and then place them on your robot sheet to build your robot. After you place your dice into the sheet and you build your robot, you choose weapon cards to play, and then you can start fighting your opponents. There are a lot of really cool weapons. There's Uzis, lasers, rifles, jammers, viruses, blue shells, and shields. So you go through combat phase and building phase, and it's a very fun game. It's definitely a very literal interpretation of dice building, but that makes it really fun. So if you were like, you know, I thought Dice Masters was actually going to let me build stuff with dice, and I love Dice Masters, but I want to build stuff with dice, Dicebot Mega Fun is absolutely for you. I know for a fact we have this one available in the WizKids online store, so if you can't find this one locally because it is an older release, definitely head to shop.wizkids.com and check it out. It's absolutely worth it. It's such a fun little game. It's for 2 to 4 players, 14 and up. It's 30 minutes, and it is $24.99. So, great price point, nice. It's not a big box, it's a smallish box. It's like a rectangular box, so it doesn't take up a lot of space either. And it's absolutely wonderful. Dicebot Mega Fun. Now, on to what I'm sure all of you are waiting for. I feel like I'm moving really fast today, but the clock says I'm not, and that's weird. The Dice Masters preview. And Noodles, of course, is going to help me out with this. That's why he's in the corner. I'm so bad at the left and right with this. He's in the corner here being all cute. He's been watching the show. You've probably noticed him. Maybe I'll do like a spot Noodles thing. But before we start with the preview, I do have a quick update about Kryptonite Crisis. Like I said, I'm not going to be talking about Dark Phoenix today. I'm very sorry I don't have any information on that at this time. Keep an eye out. As soon as we have information for you guys, we will absolutely share it. I promise. But in terms of Kryptonite Crisis, there's an error on the website right now with the release date that we're trying to fix. So once that is fixed, it'll be done very, very soon. We hope to have it done this week. That will be up to date on the website. So keep an eye. When that is updated, you'll definitely know, and that will be up to date. But now, let's get into previewing the cards. And of course, it is Superman Kryptonite Crisis, so what do we have to start with? We gotta start with Superman. So, this is Superman in this set, of course. It's his set, so this is actually the lowest cost Superman ever that we've ever printed. And he's got some really nice abilities. He protects the Lois Lane card, so if you have Lois Lane character dice, Superman protects her, and it does encourage thematic combo building. He has, as you can see, a drawback that makes you want to put him on a Superman family team, so that's a great benefit of the card, is if you keep everything Superman, he's gonna really shine on your team. So I'm gonna leave this up for a couple more seconds if anyone has any questions about the card. I can't promise I'll be able to answer them, but I'm gonna do my best. But it's a great card. I mean, I love all the art for this set. You'll see in the next one I'm going to preview, the art is absolutely stunning. I think it's just amazing. I love, like, the colors. I'm a big color person, so for me the colors are, like, incredible. So moving on, we are going to move on to Jimmy Olsen and Lois Lane. These are great building block pieces for a Superman family team. They'll make sure that you're able to buy more expensive dice, but also that you have nicer rewards for fielding them. So Lois, you know, really helps helps Superman out, and Superman, of course, helps Lois by protecting her, like we talked about. And can we talk about the Lois Lane card art? Like, that's such a gorgeous image. I love how awesome she looks, how cool she looks, and Jimmy, of course, is great too. I'm just in love with the Lois Lane art, honestly. And of course, Jimmy can't be targeted by opposing global abilities, so that's also a great benefit. These are really cool cards. Everything is just amazing here. I love them all. But yeah, so that's Jimmy Olsen and Lois Lane. Again, I'll leave these up for a couple more seconds so you guys can kind of check them out. And of course, the set is coming, and when it comes out, you will get to have these. So, moving on, we have Investigative Journalism and Daily Planet. These are, of course, ramp basic actions, but they're actually really unique and cool because, unlike previous ramp basic actions, you get to see the dice before you decide where you want them. So it gives you a little bit of extra benefit to using them. Whereas other ramp basic actions, you don't really get to see the dice. Is the issue with the card text with me or with the oh, it's a new font. We're using a new font. Okay. That's really cool. I didn't know that. The more you know. But yeah, so these are really great. You know, Daily Planet allows you to draw and prep 2, whereas Investigative Journalism, which of course is a little more expensive, allows you to draw 4 dice and roll 3 and then prep the remainder. They are great cards. I also like that the colors kind of go together. I mean, they're obviously related cards, Daily Planet, Investigative Journalism. It's pretty obvious, but I like again, I'm a color person. So, these are really great cards. Yeah, I could just say they're really great cards like 15 more times, and I'm sure you guys will agree. But yes, so now moving on to probably the most exciting thing in this preview. I am really excited about this. It is gorgeous. It is exciting. It is really, really cool. I'm just building the tension for you guys. And that is Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn is the first ever character that we've given the textless treatment to. This is a gorgeous card, and it will be available as a textless foil full art premium insert into the Kryptonite Crisis draft packs. For people who aren't aware, that means that she will exist as both a common and a premium rarity with this look. So this is the premium rarity version that you're looking at. This full art version will be foil. The common version won't be foil and will have an empty text box on the card. And you know, she's pretty powerful card. She's a one cost mask die. And of course that's similar to the morphing jar from the Yu-Gi-Oh set, which people absolutely loved, and it was a huge hit in the meta. So we definitely expect this one to have a similar response, especially considering that Harley Quinn is such a fan favorite character. I mean, look at this card. It's so gorgeous. The colors are amazing. She looks amazing. She's really powerful. I mean, really, not really powerful, but great for the meta. Powerful in a meta way. Really awesome card. Really awesome die. Really awesome Harley Quinn. Really, I think, does justice to this amazing character. So we're really excited. Yeah, so I'm gonna, again, let Harley Quinn, Bright Lights, Big City, have a few more seconds of spotlight time so you can show her off. She is incredible, though, so we're very excited about Harley Quinn in this set. I keep looking at my screen and I keep forgetting to look at my camera because I'm looking like right into the sun when I do that. But yes, Harley Quinn. Guys, that is the end of our show. That is the end of our preview. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for watching. I've loved having you here. I've loved talking to you guys about this game and these great board games. I hope you enjoyed the preview. I hope you enjoyed all of the cards that I showed to you today. Superman Kryptonite Crisis is going to be an amazing set. I'm so excited for it. We will, of course, have more updates for you on Dice Masters as they're available. Keep an eye on our social media. You can check us out on Facebook at WizKids. We're WizKids Games on Twitter and Instagram, so check us out there if you want to make sure that you're on top of everything. I'm sure we'll have updates for you soon. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful day. Next week, I am hoping to do a similar show with board games for Star Trek Attack Wing fans, so if you're a fan of Attack Wing, check out that show. I'm thrilled about being able to do this for you. I hope you have a great day. I hope you have a great week. Noodles and I love you. Thank you so much, Penguin Pals. Do we like Penguin Pals as the nickname for us? I kind of like Penguin Pals, but I don't know if it's cutesy. Let me know what you think. I'm interested to know what your thoughts are on being my Penguin Pals. But anyway, this has been Much Ado About Gaming. I'm Jessa Blackthorne. I hope you have a wonderful week. If it's snowing where you are, like it's snowing for me right now, please stay safe, please stay healthy, stay warm, and I will see you next Tuesday. Bye!